Hello there, adventurers. I'm...
So what's the deal with airline food? It's expensive and no one brags about it. Like, I've never heard anyone ever say, like, the other day, So let's talk about Bloodhounds. They're prestige class, not the adorable doggo. But they both do the same thing, to be honest. The Bloodhound is a bounty hunter that specializes in bringing in justice alive. They don't have the moral compass forcing them to bring their targets in alive, but they're good at it. In order to start your luxurious journey into the vast vistas of the Bloodhound, you'll need 6 things. A base attack of +4, 4 ranks in gather information, move silently, and survival, and then the 2 feats, endurance and track. No alignment restrictions whatsoever, which is weird considering so many of their abilities don't kill people. Like, this prestige class seems to be missing any non-evil. I'm not complaining, I'm just pointing out the oddity of it. Also, in case anyone is wondering why I haven't told you any hit dice per level or the prestige class skills, it's really simple. I've forgotten the first 2 videos, and I'm sure it's not going to start now. That would make me sound fucking stupid. So, Bloodhounds have a D10 for health and 6+ intelligence for skill progression. They are also proficient in all simple and martial weapons, and with light armor. Ernimal Lord and Beast Merster, they didn't get any new proficiencies, so that's why I didn't mention that before. Just like Arn't Lard and Boris Marsta, the Bloodhound has a full base attack, good forward and reflex, and a bad will. They have a lot of abilities. They aren't really complicated. At level 1, you get the ability Mark. And this ability, it's the ability that controls the whole class. You can target a humanoid or monstrous humanoid that you basically plan on beating up. You either have to stare at them or think really hard about a description you have of them for 10 minutes. If this 10 minutes gets interrupted, though, you gotta try again. After that, they are marked forever until you beat them up or drop the mark, or if you mark someone else. So your mark, you get to add your prestige class level to any gather information, listen, search, spot, and survival check made against your mark to help you find them. If you get a new mark or drop your mark, you're supposed to lose experience points equal to what that creature or person would have given you if you defeated them. I personally would never do that. That's kind of ridiculous. At level 4, 7, and 10, you gain the ability to mark more people. One more each time. At level 1, you also gain the ability Swift Tracker. What this lets you do is lets you move at your normal base speed whilst tracking. Normally, you can only move at half your base speed whilst tracking. So that's actually pretty good. It does not have to just be your mark. If you are tracking something, you can do it at your normal base speed with this. At 2nd level, you gain the ability Non-Lethal Force. This allows you to use any melee weapon and deal non-lethal damage without incurring the -4 penalty. That's actually pretty sweet. Just imagining a guy using a Morning Star and bashing him in the face with it. It does nothing without it having the Merciful enchantment on it. Technically anyone can do that just by taking a -4 to hit, but it's funnier to imagine that the Bloodhound just doesn't do it by hitting them with the handle. At 2nd level, you also gain the ability Ready and Waiting. And what this allows you to do is ready in action against your mark, even outside of combat. And it lasts for 10 minutes. Now, if the action that you readied can't be performed. Like, say, if you readied an action to strike them with a two-handed weapon, but at the time that they were trying to escape, you're carrying something with both your hands, then obviously you can't use that readied action. But other than that, at any point you could use said readied action within those 10 minutes. Bam. At level 3, you get Bring 'em Back Alive. Now what this allows you to do is to turn any possible killing blow into an incapacitating one. So if you were to bring someone below -2 or more, you can bring them down to -1 instead. You must choose to use this ability before you make any other action. Like immediately, as soon as you know that person is -2 or below, you gotta declare it, or they're gonna die. So if you roll all of your attacks in one round, and then you realize that the second attack, brought this guy to -5, but you already rolled the damage for the next attack, the person's dead. Straight up. You also cannot use this ability whilst raging, so a Barbarian Bloodhound is risky business. Level 3 continued, you get Tenacious Pursuit. Now what this does is it gives you a +4 to your con check when resisting non-lethal damage from a forced march. What this also does is it gives you a +10 movement speed pursuing your mark. This increases to 20 feet at level 6 and then 30 feet at level 9. But you can only increase your movement speed up to how fast your mark is going. So it's kind of useless if you both have the same movement speed. But if your mark ever gets on a horse or a mount, you're probably going to be running as fast as that horse or mount. At level 4, you get Hunter's Dedication and Move Like the Wind. What Hunter's Dedication does is it allows you to add your con modifier to any will saves made against your mark's spells or spell-like abilities. What Move Like the Wind does is it allows you to move at your full movement speed whilst hiding or moving silently without the normal negative penalties. You also only take a -10 compared to the -20 penalty whilst running and then hiding and moving silently, and -20 whilst doing a charging attack. At level 5, you get Trackless and Crippling Strike. Now what the Trackless does is exactly what it sounds like. You are able to use survival skill to track someone that has the ability Trackless Step or has cast the spell Pass Without a Trace. You do incur a negative penalty, but that's much better than not being able to do it at all. Crippling Strike acts just like the Rogue's ability that is on page 51 of the Player's Handbook, but you basically get to do strength damage with each one of your strikes. Your mark. At level 6, you get See Invisibility and Shielded Mind. Now, See Invisibility is always active, 24/7, against your mark, and then Shielded Mind gives you spell resistance 15 plus your Bloodhound class levels to divination spells. But if you have spell resistance from anything else, they do not stack. That spell resistance only applies to divination spells. At level 7, you get Locate Creature. This operates just like the spell Locate Creature, using your Bloodhound levels as your effective caster level. You can do it once per day. At level 8, you gain the ability Freedom of Movement. Now this spell acts just like the spell Freedom of Movement, except that it lasts for a number of rounds per day equal to your Wisdom modifier. That is because it activates automatically. As soon as your movement would be impeded, it kicks in. So if you're sprinting through some magical entanglement spell that your mark, doesn't have to be your mark, but that your mark shot up, you just go. And if it takes you one round to get through that, it only uses up one round for your per day number of rounds. It lasts up until it is needed, or if you run out of daily rounds. You treat your Bloodhound level as your caster level for the spell. At level 9, you gain the Scent ability. All of these prestige classes so far, 3 in a row. 3 for 3 have gotten Scent. I think Complete Adventurer was big into smelling stuff. And then finally, at level 10, you get Find the Path. You can use this twice per day, just like the spell Find the Path, where you use your Bloodhound level for your effective caster level. Alright, so I'm kind of just going to wrap this video up because I'm burning alive. Freaking, there's a heat wave going on where I live, and this garage just... I'm burning alive. That and the audio of this video was such a pain to raise and lower and tune, and it just didn't want to cooperate with me. I'm holding my camera mic, my face right now. So I'm just going to tell you, this is Dog the Bounty Hunter. Yes, I wanted to make that joke. Yes, I wanted to be more enthusiastic about it, but I'm dying over here. So Dog the Bounty Hunter, he uses a flintlock pistol, and yes, that is in the Dungeon Master's Guide 1. Can't remember what page it's on, but it is in the main DMG. And he has his heavy flail, which he uses mainly for intimidation tactics. But other than that, the only other interesting thing about him is the fact that he is mute. As you can see, that is the flaw, mute. Me and my buddies actually homebrewed that, blind, deaf, and mute, where a normal flaw gives you 1 extra feat. If you take one of those 3, you get 2 extra feats. If you want to use this character and don't want to use that mechanic, I would suggest giving him non-combative and poor reflexes, because that would give him -2 when using melee weapons, which would make him prefer the pistol. And then the poor reflexes is just, I imagine him being extremely calm and collected, where he wouldn't truly react in time to dodging things, traps and things of the like. And then because he is mute, in his inventory are different quills that he has made from the, it's called trophies, from his defeated enemies. But other than that, yep, that is Dog the Bounty Hunter, the Lupin, which you can find that race in Dragon Compendium Volume 1.